Hello, my favorite students. So, in this video, we are going to discuss all the possible questions from Glimpses of India. So, which includes a baker from Goa, Coorg, and tea from Assam. First, let's go through the questions from a baker from Goa. Okay, the first question. What are the elders often reminiscing nostalgically about? So, reminiscing nostalgically about means thinking about the past. So, what are the elders often thinking fondly about the past? The elders are often fondly recollecting their good old Portuguese days, the Portuguese, and their famous loaves of bread. So, the bread, when it is not cut, it is called a loaf of bread. And when there are so many loaves like this, it is called LOAVES. So, there are three things that you have to remember. They are fondly recollecting the Portuguese days, and their famous loaves of bread. Okay. Those eaters of loaves may have vanished, but the dash are still there. So, who are still there? A. Recipes. B. Makers. C. Portuguese. Or D. Traditions. The answer is makers. So the eaters may have vanished, but the makers are still there. Okay. What are the bakers known as? The bakers are known as fathers. Yes. What indicated the arrival of the fathers in the morning? So how did we know that the fathers have arrived? A. The loud cry of the bakers. B. The ringing of the bell. C. Thud of the bamboo. Or D. Blowing the horn. So how do they know? Yes, the answer is the thud of the bamboo staff. Yes. Moving to the next question. Why did the children run to meet the baker? A. For the bread bangles. B. For the love of the loaf. C. Their love for the baker. Or D. For the sweet bread of special make. So why did the children run? Yes, especially for the bread bangles, but also for the sweet bread of special make. Okay. Describe the arrival of the baker and the events that would follow. So this is an important question. First, the baker would make his entry by the jang jang sound of the specially made bamboo staff. So if you see here, the father has a bamboo staff in one hand and he would bang the bamboo staff and make a jang jang sound for the people to know about his arrival. His one hand would support the basket, if you can see in the image. One hand is supporting the basket on the head, yes, and the other banged the bamboo on the ground. Then he would lower the basket on the ground, greet the lady of the house, and the kids would be mildly pushed away and the breads would be delivered to the servant. So this is the arrival of the baker, that is the father, and the events that would follow. So I have given you a visual representation here so that you can remember this image and then recall the answer in the examination. A bamboo staff on one hand, a specially made one, where he would bang it on the ground and make a jang jang sound for his arrival. He would carry a basket with loaves of bread on his head and his one hand would support the basket. Okay. Then he would lower the basket, greet the lady of the house, mildly push the children away and hand over the bread to the servant. Okay. Describe the reaction of the kids when the father would arrive. This is also an important question. How would the children react? The jingling thud of the bamboo would wake the kids from their sleep, and they would run to meet and greet him. The kids would not even care to brush their teeth or wash their mouths properly. When the kids would be pushed aside with a mild rebuke, the children would not give up and would climb a bench or a parapet and peep into the basket. The kids would be woken up, they wouldn't even bother to brush their teeth or wash their face, and they would run to meet and greet the father. And even if they would be slightly pushed away, they would not give up but would climb on a bench or a parapet to peep inside the basket to see what the baker has brought for them. Why did the kids not care to brush their teeth? So if you see here in the image, these are the bread bangles that the children really love to eat. Okay. So why do the kids not care to brush their teeth? A, they did not want to take the trouble to pluck the mango leaf. B, because the tiger did not brush its teeth. C, because hot tea would wash and clean everything. Or D, all of the above. Do you know the answer? Yes, the answer is all of the above. They did not care to brush their teeth because in the olden days they had to pluck the mango leaf and brush with it, and they believed that tigers did not brush their teeth, so why should they brush? And because if they would drink hot tea, it would wash and clean everything, so why take the trouble of brushing the teeth? So I hope you can recall the answer. Okay, in what ways are bread an integral part of their lives? Again, an important question. So first, so in which all occasions did bread play an integral role? First is marriage gifts. Okay, so marriage gifts are meaningless without the sweet bread bowl. So first is the marriage gifts are incomplete without the sweet bread bowl. A party or a feast loses its charm without bread. So it is integral for a party or a feast to have bread in it. The lady of the house must prepare sandwiches on her daughter's engagement. And cakes and bolinas are a must for Christmas and other festivals. So you can remember, first is marriage gift, then think of a party, then think of daughter's engagement, and last is Christmas. So these are the four occasions. I hope you can remember these. That is why I've written in bullet points so that it is easier to recall them. Okay, moving to the next one. What was the peculiar dress of the bakers called? A. Kasai, B. Kasoli, C. Bolina, or D. Kabai? Yes, it is Kabai. I think you already saw the answer here. Okay, you're very smart. Okay. Now describe the dress of the baker. So it was a long piece of frock or gown reaching to the knee, known as kabai. So if you see here, you can see a long piece of frock or gown reaching to the knee, known as kabai. Some wore shirt and trousers. If you see in this image, he's wearing a shirt and a trouser, which were longer than half pant and shorter than full length. So here he has folded it a little bit, but usually they come up to here. It's like a 3/4 pant. So there are two types worn. Some wear it like a gown, some wear a shirt and trousers, which are neither short, it is below the knee but above the ankle. Okay. When is someone told that he dresses like a father? When someone wears a half pant that reaches below the knee, he invites the comment that he is dressed like a father. Okay. When the person has a jackfruit-like appearance, he is compared to a dash. A. Potato, B. Landlord, C. Cook, or D. Baker. Do you know the answer? Yes, it is a baker. a jackfruit-like appearance because they are prosperous and they have a jackfruit-like appearance. Was baking a profitable business during those days? Yes, indeed. The baker and his family never starved. They always looked prosperous and happy. The proof lies in their healthy or plump physique. That is why a jackfruit like appearance invites them to be called a baker or a pather. When did the baker collect his money and where were the accounts written? If you can recall, the baker collected his money at the end of the month and the money accounts were recorded on some wall with pencil, not on any paper or written by pen. It was on some wall written with pencil. Okay. What indicates that the bakers are still present in Goa? So what proof? The thud and jingle of the bamboo staff that indicates the arrival of the bakers can still be heard in some places in Goa. Also, even if the father is not alive, the son carries on the family profession. So this indicates that bakers are still present because still the jang of the bamboo staff can be heard in certain places and the sons have taken over the father's business. How was the baker fondly remembered by the children? This is also an important question. The children considered the bakers their friend, companion, and guide. The children would get excited when they would hear the jang jang sound of the bamboo and they would rush to meet the baker without even brushing their teeth. The baker used to come twice a day and he would bring the sweet smelling baked goods. And children yearned for the bread bangles and sometimes sweet bread of special make. So the baker was like a family member for the people because he used to come every day and that too twice a day. So the children would get really excited to go and greet the baker and they considered him their friend and companion. So I hope this lesson is crystal clear and you can recall every part of the story. Now let's move to questions from the story Coorg. Okay, so this question might arrive. Where is Coorg situated? So Coorg is situated midway between Mysore and Mangalore. And Coorg is considered a piece of heaven. Okay, so midway between Mysore and Mangalore is a piece of heaven called Coorg. Because of its scenic beauty, it is considered to have drifted from the kingdom of God. So why is it considered to have been drifted from the kingdom of God? Because of its scenic beauty, and it is called the piece of heaven. Okay, what can be found in Coorg? Coorg, otherwise known as Kodagu, is home to evergreen rainforest, spices, and coffee plantations. The land is inhabited by a proud race of martial men, beautiful women, and wild creatures. So this is a very brief answer what can be found in Coorg. If it is a detailed answer, then you have to write about all the wildlife and what all things you can see in Coorg. Okay. So evergreen forest, spices and coffee plantation and wildlife. Okay. Which is the perfect time to visit Coorg? A. September to March with light showers. March to August during monsoon when it pours. During coffee picking season or during the traditional marriage season. So they have mentioned the perfect time to visit Coorg is from September to March with light showers. People don't visit Coorg when it is monsoon. The independent people of Coorg can be of which descent? A. Latin, B. Arabic, C. Greek, or D. African? So the Kurd can be of which descent? They can be of the Arabic and Greek. What story indicates that the people of Kurg may be of Greek or Arabic descent? So it is believed that a part of Alexander's army moved and settled in Kurg when return became impractical. So when they could not return, a part of King Alexander's army, they moved and settled there. Then these people married the locals and thus may be of Greek descent, as the traditions that they follow are quite different to Hindu mainstream ones. So the Kurgis, their traditions are very different from the Hindu mainstream ones. So it is believed that they are of Greek descent. The theory of Arab origin is supported by the long black coat that the Kurgi people wear with embroidery waist belt, which resembles the kufiya worn by Arabs, and that is why they believe that they are descendants of Arabs. So this is also an important question. What is the attire worn by the people of Kurg called? A. Kufiya, B. Kodavus, C. Kupiya, or D. Kondia? Sounds very confusing, isn't it? The answer is Kupiya. Okay, let's move to the next one. In which way is it apparent that the people of Kurg are of Greek descent? A. In marital traditions, B. In marriage, C. Religious rites, or D. All of the above? And the answer is all of the above. In marriage, in the traditions during marriage, and also in the religious rites. How do the people treat their guests? So Kurgi homes have a tradition of hospitality and they treat their guests well. They are more than willing to even narrate numerous tales of valor and bravery related to their sons and also to their fathers. They are really good hosts. Are Kurgi people in the army? Support your answer with proof. Yes, the Kurgi regiment is one that has received the maximum number of awards for bravery in the Indian army. Okay. The first chief of the Indian army, General Cariappa, was a Kurgi. Even today, Kodavus are the only ones allowed to carry firearms without a license. So this is a picture of General Cariappa. He was a Kurgi. He is the first chief of the Indian army. And the Kurgi regiment has received the maximum number of awards for bravery. I hope you can remember that. Okay. What is the main crop of Kurg? A. Tea, B. Coffee, C. Saffron, or D. Banana? Don't get confused with Assam. The main crop of Kurg is coffee. It's known for its beautiful coffee plantations. Okay. What sports are offered to people who visit Kurg? So I have given you illustrations here so that look at these illustrations really well. In the exam, even if you forget, you can just think about these illustrations and then you can recall the answer. So some high energy adventures that are offered to tourists are river rafting, canoeing, rappelling, rock climbing, mountain biking. And there are also numerous walking trails that are popular with trekkers. So remember these images because we are able to better remember illustrations rather than alphabet. Okay, moving to the next question. Name the wildlife that can be seen in Coorg. Okay. So some of the wildlife commonly seen in Coorg is the Mahaseer. Can you see Mahaseer here? It is a large freshwater fish. Then kingfishers are seen diving to catch fish. While on the tree, these are the Malabar squirrels. They're really big squirrels. So these Malabar squirrels and langurs are seen dropping partially eaten fruits and enjoy the ripple effect on water. So if you see ripple effect, when you throw something in the water, it creates a ripple like this. So that is why they enjoy it and they drop partially eaten fruits into the water. Who? The Malabar squirrels and langurs. Then macaws. These are the macaws, the monkeys, and the slender loris. So this is the slender loris. Keep a watchful eye from the canopy above. So from the tree, the macaws and the slender loris, they keep an watchful eye. Moreover, elephants enjoy their bath in the river given by their mahouts. So take a look at these images so that you don't forget. So there are a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 animals for you to remember. From where can we see the panoramic view of the entire misty landscape of Coorg? A. Nandi Hills. B. Nilgiri Hills. C. Malabar Hills. Or D. Brahmagiri Hills. The answer is Brahmagiri Hills. Yes, and that wasn't the last. There is still another answer to go. What are the things to see in Coorg? Climb to the Brahmagiri Hills. Bring the panoramic view of the entire landscape. So this is the Brahmagiri Hills. A walk across the rope bridge leads to an island of Nisargadhama. So there is a long rope bridge. We can find India's largest Tibetan settlement near Bailakuppe. So if you see here, Tibetan settlement. Coorg is well known for the various wildlife, the coffee estate, and the spices grown. Therefore, there are many surprises that wait to be discovered by visitors who search for the heart and soul of India. So I hope this story is also very clear and all the answers are clear. Now let's go to the next story, that is Tea from Assam. Even if Rajveer was an ardent fan of detective stories, why did he read on the train journey to Assam? So the question is, why didn't he read on the train journey to Assam? It is because Rajveer was keener to look at the beautiful scenery. It was lush green everywhere and he had not seen so much greenery before. So he had not seen greenery before. It was lush green everywhere. So he was keener to look at the beautiful scenery rather than read detective stories even if he liked it. What is the occupation of Pranjol's father? A. Owner of the tea estate. B. Manager of a tea garden. C. Retired army official. Or D. Nature lover and tea taster. I think most of you will get the answer right. Yes, he is the manager of a tea garden. What was the magnificent view during the journey? The tea bushes stretched as far as the eyes could see. There were tall, sturdy shade trees among the orderly rows of bushes. So there are these tall, sturdy shade trees among the orderly rows of tea bushes. And doll-like figures of tea pickers moved about. So from far away, they look like dolls moving about. In the distance, they could also see tea factories with its ugly building and smoke coming out of the tall chimneys. That is also what they could see. Where were Pranjal and Rajveer going to, and how do they know each other? So Pranjal and Rajveer are classmates at a school in Delhi. Pranjal has invited Rajveer to visit his home in Assam during the summer vacation, and Pranjal's father is a manager in a tea garden. Why did Pranjal not share Rajveer's excitement? So Pranjal had been born and brought up on a plantation, and hence it was not a novel. Novel means a new experience for him. That is why he did not show Rajveer's excitement. And Rajveer had not seen such lush greenery in his life, so he was even more excited. Why did Rajveer call it a tea country? It is because Assam has the largest concentration of tea plantations in the world. That is why. Where was tea first drunk? A. China, B. India, C. Myanmar, D. Bhutan. The answer is China. Explain the Chinese legend of how tea was discovered. Very important question. One day, when a Chinese emperor was drinking boiling water, few tea leaves accidentally fell into it and gave it a delicious flavor. Since then, tea has been drunk in China. So it was accidental. Explain the Indian legend of tea discovery. Again, important question. Usually they club both and ask in the long question type. An Indian Buddhist ascetic is a sannyasi. Okay. An Indian Buddhist ascetic called Bodhidharma cut off his eyelids because he was feeling sleepy during meditation. However, 10 tea plants grew out of his eyelid, and when these leaves of the plants were put into boiling water and drunk, it banished sleep. So Bodhidharma cut off his eyelid, and when he cut off his eyelids, what happened? 10 tea plants grew out of the eyelids. So then these leaves were taken and put in boiling water, and when drunk, it banished his sleep. So therefore he could do meditation in a better manner. So this is the legend of India. The word chai, chini are from which language? A. Sanskrit, B. Hindi, C. Chinese, or D. Japanese? The answer is Chinese. During the 16th century, in Europe, tea was drunk more as what? A. An alcoholic beverage, B. Medicine, C. Substitute for coffee, or D. As a sleep inducer? The answer is medicine. What did the tea pickers in Assam wear while plucking trees? While plucking leaves. The tea pickers in Assam wore a bamboo basket on their backs, wore plastic aprons, and plucked the newly sprouted leaves. When do we get the best tea yield? So the second flush, or the sprouting period, which lasts from May to July, leads the best tea. When was tea first drunk in China, and when did it come to Europe? So tea was first drunk in China around 2700 BC, and tea came to Europe in the 16th century, where it was drunk as a medicine rather than a beverage. What did Rajveer see in the Ekiabari tea estate managed by Pranjal's father? This also is an important question. Rajveer saw acre upon acre of tea bushes on either side of a gravel road. So there were stones, small stones road. So it was not a concrete road, it was a gravel road. And on either side, he saw acre upon acre of tea bushes. The tea bushes were all pruned to same height. Pruned means cut carefully. He saw a tractor pulling a trailer load of tea being taken after the second flush. He also saw groups of tea pickers wearing a plastic apron and carrying a bamboo basket on their backs, picking newly sprouted tea leaves. Okay, so are you thorough with all these three chapters? Wasn't it a fun way to recall whatever we studied? I hope you enjoyed watching this video. Please share it among your friends, and if you haven't subscribed, what are you waiting for? Subscribe immediately. I'm praying for each one of you. Work hard, you will definitely get success. God bless.